Let's talk now, though, to Alp Mehmet, who's chairman of Migration Watch, because, of course, we still have thousands of people in this country, hundreds of thousands maybe. We don't know who they are. We don't know what they're doing. We don't know what they want. And even if they're not terrorists and even if they're not criminals, they are definitely a drain on our economy. Alp, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
Thanks very much indeed for talking to us. I mean, the big story today is that suddenly these delivery companies have woken up to the idea that actually the people driving your Uber, the people delivering your Uber Eats, the people delivering your Deliveroo or your Just Eats or whatever it is you're getting sent to your house may not be who they say they are. I mean, we've been saying this for years and they've all denied it for years, but now apparently they've accepted that it's true and they've now started sacking people.
I won't hold my breath. The fact is that it's so open to abuse. And bear in mind, Mike, what you said earlier about the number of people here that we don't know about, the number of people here who are here illegally. There's our latest estimates that we've looked at, having considered how they might become part of the illegal population of this country. We believe that there's something between 1.5 to 2 million people here who have no right to be here.
Yeah.
And this sort of scheme whereby people register for the app and then can respond when people order through Deliveroo or Uber Eats or Just Eat, and there's about 150,000 of these riders, and where most of them may well be genuine, the fact is that it's possible for them to sell on or to hire out their certificates, if you like, hire these out to anyone who comes along, and that's where it lends itself to abuse, and anyone being able to suddenly pitch up on your door who poses a danger, particularly to women.
Right. Well, this is the thing. I mean, we've got the police and crime bill being introduced today. Yvette Cooper was hinting at it yesterday. I've seen what they're supposedly going to be unveiling. And in no place in that police and crime bill do they acknowledge that some of the rise in crime in this country has been caused by people who have come from elsewhere, who are illegally here, who are probably in some senses already on a list for deportation, but are not going anywhere. And simply all they're doing is hanging around and committing crime, whether it's stealing your phone, whether it's stealing from a shop, whether it is stealing from a car, whether it is even more serious, some kind of sexual crime of assault or rape or something like that. You know, the government doesn't appear to have any appetite for even collecting that sort of data so that we can know who the bad guys are.
Well, yeah, not only that, they don't actually tell us who the people committing these crimes are. We never know unless we FOI it, Freedom of Information applications. We don't know what the nationalities are of those who are committing these crimes very often. And that's wrong, I think. All of this, all it does is encourage illegal migration. People who pay a lot of money to the smugglers who the government is not going to smash. They haven't got a hope in hell's chance of smashing the gangs that help and enable those who want to come here and stay illegally. That's not going to happen in exactly the same way that they won't really do anything about identifying those who are here illegally and removing them.
Right.
Partly because they can't, having identified them, and even those they do identify, what happens, they appeal against refusal, against removal, they claim their human rights, and ultimately either are allowed to stay or it takes so long to get rid of them, frankly, that they end up staying here forever.
Yeah, and that's the problem. And the more that those people have success doing that, the more people will come behind them. We already know, don't we, that some asylum seekers, or shall we say illegal migrants, have already managed to get members of their family to come and join them on the basis that not that they're living here and that they've been given settled status, but that they're still claiming asylum or seeking it, but they're allowed to bring people in while they're doing that.
Yes, well, that's where their human rights come into play, you understand. And even where, as we found recently, only a couple of weeks ago, where people have entered through a particular scheme, the Ukraine scheme, suddenly one of our immigration judges decides that that scheme, which was intended for a particular group, is actually properly available to everyone else who asks for it. It's just the whole system is so open. It's so open to abuse that all it does is encourage people to come here, and encourages the smugglers who are not going to be caught to get a lot of money, make themselves very rich from charging huge amounts to get people here illegally. And even those who enter legally, their ultimate aim quite often is to stay here by hook or by crook and get a job and bring their family here.
Yes, I mean, that would be nice, wouldn't it? How about, the idea of actually, putting down a marker and saying, look, from this moment on, we will not be accepting any more illegal migrants, in the same way that other countries are starting to do, and the way that Australia did, and just say, look, if you come here illegally, as they're saying in America, you will never be able to stay.
Yeah, and that... There was a lot of debate a few days ago about the government ostensibly giving guidance and saying that anyone who comes here illegally or stays illegally is not going to get British citizenship. Well, yeah, of course that should happen, but it's not going to discourage those who arrive in dinghies or anyone who arrives legally and stays on. What's going to happen to them in 5, 6, 7, 8 years' time? That really, I think, is the fuss that the government has probably generated just to show that they're acting tough. At the moment, all you can say is that what the government has done, and even the proposed legislation that is now going through, that's not going to do anything at all, in my view, but certainly not very much, to stem the tide of illegality and certainly illegal crossings across the Channel.
No, quite right. Alp, good to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed. Alp Mehmet there from Migration Watch, chairman of Migration Watch, talking about the problems with dealing with not only the people who are still coming, but the people who are already here.